Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Wednesday, August the 6th, 2025. I have to come here and speak about this viral video regarding the fire chief yelling at a 10-year-old girl as she's being put in the ambulance. Before I continue, I want to give you a trigger warning because what I'm going to speak about here, it can be very sensitive to a lot of people. And also before I continue, I also want to thank everybody who has been following the podcast on Spotify. Don't forget to do so. It really helps me as a creator. If you follow the podcast, Julissa Designs, every time I make a new episode, you get a notification, and it helps me as a creator on Spotify. So I really, truly appreciate everybody who has been doing that. And of course, everybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I also want to say, everybody who's listening using Apple Podcasts, you can do the same thing. You can follow the podcast, and every time I make a new episode, you get a notification. So you guys, I think by now, today is the 6th, right? I think by now, everybody has seen that video of a girl being put in an ambulance in a stretcher. And as she's being, prepared to be put inside the ambulance, she's surrounded by policemen, EMS, and this fire chief who's basically yelling at her. It's just so running everywhere. This video is one of those videos that when you see it, you're like, wow. It freezes you in your steps, and you're like, did I just see what I just saw? First of all, we have a grown man yelling at a little girl who obviously needs medical treatment, who's hurt. That's why she's being put in an ambulance. This grown man yelling at her, screaming on the top of his lung at her, and telling her to shut the F off, right? Basically. And we have, so that's wrong. Then that's also child abuse, okay? And then we have this little girl surrounded by male policemen, EMS, and they see what's happening. Nobody says, hey, dude, calm down. Don't yell at her. That's a little girl. Or like, don't even yell at anybody. Like, when people work in the service industry, you don't expect them to lose their temper like that, right? But these days, it's all about influence and who are you good friends with, who your family is good friend with, and a lot of the times you get put in positions that you are not deserving of, right? None of the policemen there say, don't yell at her, don't talk to her like that. First of all, where is the female EMS, right? Where are the female police handling this situation? Because from what I understand, especially when you're dealing with a child, like, you should have a female, either policeman or medical professional there. And then all these men see this abuse happening, and everybody's covering up this fire chief. Everybody's so scared to even say anything, right? Everybody's so scared, but thanks be to God, right? Because this is the year that everything's being exposed. And I have said this to you guys many times, that things that people in the past were able to get away with so easily is being now broadcast. Somebody will be recording that. Some video will be leaked and it will be public. And now, like this episode, like this video, has gone viral, and everybody knows who he is, and this is being doing the rounds throughout the world, basically, right? Exposing this type of behavior from people in top positions, specifically, obviously, this man. Let me read you guys more information about who he is and what department he works at, okay? North Babylon Fire Chief Peter Alt was caught on video shouting profanities at a 10-year-old girl during an emergency call. A volunteer chief has been suspended, thanks be to God, after a viral video captured him yelling profanities at a 10-year-old girl during an emergency call. The incident occurred on August the 4th, so 2 days ago, basically, when North Babylon Fire Chief Peter Alt responded to a call involving a child. As first responder loaded the 10-year-old girl into the ambulance, a concerned neighbor recorded him shouting at her. Thank God for that neighbor who recorded that. And he seems yelling, shut the F off, like I said. Um, it is like this with you every F week. And he continues to just curse at this. You know what it is? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, if it wasn't for that video to be leaked, like this man probably got away with doing this many times. And if this man is like that at his workplace, working with the public, doing what he's getting paid to do so, right? And people might say he's a volunteer. He gets some type of admiration from doing that, right? Doing all of that in his workplace. Imagine this person at home, right? So there's a reason this is being exposed, right? Like, you need to understand, this is God's creation. Like, these are that's a child of God he's yelling at. And we're really living in the last days. So of course God is going to expose all of that. And thanks be to God, to that brave neighbor that was like, I don't like, maybe there's something that she noticed. She's like, I don't like the demeanor. I'm going to record this thing, right? And then we have this video, right? So this happened, like I said, on August the 4th. He responded to a call and he's yelling at the 10-year-old girl, right? And he says here that he was suspended the day after. On August 5th, the North Babylon Volunteer Fire Company announced of his suspension on a Facebook post stating that there's an investigation underway. What I was saying is, like, you know what it is to be sick and calling, to be sick to the point that your family has to call an ambulance, and as the helpers arrive, right, you're going to be yelled at by them. That's just, oh my goodness. And like, not only that, like, it's difficult for an adult to receive that type of treatment. Imagine for a child. Imagine for a child the trauma and the fear that she probably felt in that moment. The fire companies are presently reviewing all of its training policies and procedure. We will determine if further training with respect to responding to emergency calls is required. Training, right? I think they missed the training with this guy. This is a guy who cannot control his anger and frustration. He shouldn't be in the service industry. The fire company does not condone this behavior and deems it unacceptable, the agency said. The girl's grandmother, who wasn't home at the time, said she was devastated by the video. And she said, maybe it was a blessing I wasn't there, she said. The child had become overwhelmed after losing her phone, prompting for her mother to call the police for help. Neighbors who know the family were disturbed by the incident. That's not how you treat people, they were saying, the neighbors. I was outraged. If he spoke to my kid like that, and first responders have been at home before, but never with such an aggression, right? Like I said, I think I made a video not too long ago where I was saying, these days it's becoming like people are just angry that they even have a job to do, right? Like, you were hired to treat the public with respect, to offer the help and the services that, you know, that they require in that moment. And you're going to get annoyed because you got called maybe a couple of times before to the same address. Not only that, to get annoyed with the child, like, it's just serious. Chief Alt is surrounded by other first responders who don't silence him or move him away as he berates the child. Active bystandership, the subject of his popular article, Why EMS Needs Active Bystanders Now, empowers individuals to act when they see potential risk or harm. Have you had similar encounter? Okay, so they're saying that there's a group that where you can report when you see behavior like this. I think everybody, because people that, if you work in a community where you go to work in an office setting, right? People know your behavior. And the reason that nobody said anything to him, I believe, is because this behavior have been seen from him in the past. And perhaps also they see an authority figure, right? But when it comes to abuse, and abuse of a child, right? You cannot help but to be like, man, if that was my child, he better not be yelling at her. So in that moment, a brave person will be like, I don't care if you're the chief, you're not going to talk to her like that. But none of these men said anything. That is the saddest part too. None of these men stood up for her, right? And he was suspended, and there's like we're gonna see what training. There, I don't think this man is set up to work in the service industry. Obviously, he has anger issues, and he needs to go to therapy or something. But I think also the men surrounding in that video, the other men that were there, witnessing everything, nobody said anything, right? Because a lot of the times we don't understand an issue until it happens to us. If it would have happened to any of those men, which I'm sure probably a lot of them or all of them are fathers are fathers, right? Because they look older. I'm sure they would be like, oh, they will be like on camera with the news and saying, the fire chief was yelling at my daughter, we're suing the city, this and the other. But a lot of the times we don't understand something until it's happening to us. This is crazy. I really hope that they follow through to the entire investigation. Like I said, things that in the past people were, evil things that people were so easily good at hiding from other people is now being exposed, is being broadcast because God is checking everything, right? And also everything that's done in the dark will come to light. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening to the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.